Good afternoon. Good afternoon, dear participants. Good afternoon, dear colleagues. Today, we start our second day of the Nobel Fest. That's the first and the unprecedented event of scientific scale for the region. Today we have 7 Nobel Prize laureates, 3 breakthrough prize winners, tens of others winners. And within 4 days you will hear more than 30 debates, about 50 speakers on various topics. Today's we're gonna host such well-known experts like Javier Martin, such experts as Michael Jordan, such scientists as David Vatva, and many other well-known and recognized people. And during today's opening, the second day opening, I would like to tell that the development of the inclusive education is the most topical task for us for decades. Only inclusive society and inclusive government could be well developed in the future in a long-term run. And while talking about inclusion, we want to make this fest as inclusive as possible. And today, more than 3,000 of participants could hear lectures of well-known and recognized scientists. They're going to have a chance to ask questions in chats. They're going to have an chance to listen translation, Kazakh and Russian translation, and also to drop their comments. Everything will be recorded. You will be able to find the recordings, and it will be accessible for everyone for free. We're so great. It's a great honor for us to start the second day. I'm so thankful to our partners and our sponsors for making this possible, making this event possible, for their adequate reaction towards the development of science, which is a basis of the development. And I would like to pass the floor to the principal of the Kazakh State Pedagogical University, to Mr. Takir Balykbayev. Dear participants of Nobel Fest, on behalf of Kazakh National Pedagogical University, named after Abai, the first university of Kazakhstan, from the bottom of my heart, I want to greet you all at this wonderful and great event of 2020. For us, it's a great honor for us being part of this fest, and we're thankful to organizers. Conduction of this fest is a good proof that we all open to the world. It's the world scale event put many topical questions. Where do we lead the world where we live all in, where we want to hold the principles of inclusion in the society, inclusive society, inclusive economy. And the pandemic world asked pretty existential questions. How would we learn and how we would remain human? All these topical questions in these or that contexts are sounded in all debates and speeches of the fest. The impulse of the idea and this wonderful event is science. That's the key thing. Without any borders, gender, be it sexual, gender, or any other differences. It's all aimed to develop a unique and comprehensive picture. So by doing this, the science alleviates any borders and makes sure science has all equal opportunities and access. That's the sense of this fest. We want to highlight that this fest is held in the 175th anniversary of our great thinker Abai Kunanbayev. For us as a university, it's really important that this fest is a platform to promote humanitarian ideas of Abai throughout the globe. So that's those things we promote as an international center of Abai. We established in 6 universities across the globe, in China, in Vietnam, Turkey, and Russia, and Poland. So namely, our university is the first university in the Republic of Kazakhstan where in old times we started some bright scientists started their activities. Many bright people, Mukhtar Ouezov, Uras Jandosov, and many others. During years of existence, we formed scientific schools, especially in mathematics, philology, history, informational science, and physics. The unity of the education and science helped us to transform into national university. Our scientists today realize many international projects across various sectors, including grants of several world institutions. Apart of that, we led some collaborative projects with many other universities across the globe, including some schools of Russia, and we also led some projects with the international institutions. Today, we're putting a great focus on the science of young scientists, since we have so many young scientists, and we have several scientific and research events and many other events. To ensure further development, we created postdoctorate programs. It's really worth noting that the program and agenda of the fest is of the highest demand and highly suitable to the targets and aims that we set as a university.
Because today we are not just educating our specialists, but we also the methodological center in this area. The university has the Resource Center of Inclusive Education that implements research projects and introduces recommendations for the country scientists. The university also has the component of Sorbonne, Kazakhstan, and for politology, international relations, and our students in these areas, of course, they will be interested in the discussions of about the pandemic and its how it affects the future, the role of women in civil society, and many other issues. Also, the issues related to the transformation of education in digital age, and this is very important for us because we are teaching IT specialists and information science teachers, and of course, all these areas are especially important for us. And for us, what is interesting, participation, also the Nobel Prize winners' participation in these discussions, it enables us to live up to these expectations and take the example of these great scientists. And I'm sure our teachers will use this knowledge for their productive development. And I'm sure that the Nobel Fest that is held in Kazakhstan today of such a high level will attract lots of attention from the world, and I wish well-being to all the participants productive scientific discoveries. Thank you, Mr. Takir. Thank you for this great welcoming remarks, for very interesting report. And we are very happy to cooperate with Abai University. And we hope very much that in the nearest future we'll be able to organize the lectures of the most prominent scientists that are now with us online, and maybe in future we'll be able to do it in your university. Let me give floor to the Deputy Chairman of the International Technical Scientific Center that was among the first who supported this scientific festival. We have Aidyn Turebayev with us online. Good afternoon, distinguished participants of the festival. It's a great honor for me to offer my welcoming remarks on behalf of the International Scientific Technical Center. Within just a short time, we've seen how the world has changed, how the world has become fragile despite of all the achievements of mankind. And the pandemic showed that we are living actually much closer than it seems, that the borders is just a conditional thing. And the International Scientific Technical Center has been supporting scientists from different countries, financing the projects, conducting workshops, conferences in different areas such as nuclear security and safety. And during these 25 years, the center supported collaboration of scientists. The headquarters of the International Scientific Technical Center is in Nur-Sultan city, and the center includes such countries as the US, Japan, South Korea, the European Union, Norway, Armenia, Georgia, Kazakhstan, Kyrgyz Republic. And we are open for receiving new participants and members. Of course, scientists should unite the efforts in developing vaccine, and that was said a lot about it yesterday, and that actually the pandemic affected lots of areas of our life. And yesterday at the festival we discussed it, and I'm sure this will be continued discussed in the next 2 days. And we, as the International Center, as the Scientific Center, we would like to say that we need to unite to face other problems that are challenging the mankind. The ice caps, for example, melting, the lack of fresh water, migration, diseases of animals, and many other problems place lots of threats. But we don't feel the consequences immediately, but we will see these consequences in the future, and our future generations will see that. Nobel Fest should become regular so that we could be able to discuss such issues, and that would be the orientation for the scientific community. I wish productive work to everyone. Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Turebayev, for these kind words, for the welcoming remarks. Now let me give floor to the chairman of Soros Kazakhstan Fund, who also supported Nobel Fest, Ms. Aida Aidarkulova. Let me, on behalf of the Soros Fund of Kazakhstan, welcome all the participants and speakers of Nobel Fest. We are very happy to support this unique platform for knowledge exchange, where the prominent scientists and experts and Nobel Prize laureates participate. Our fund is 25 years this year, and we've been always involved in the development of inclusive education, civil science development. These are our major areas of work, as well as human rights protection and support of independent media. Our fund has allocated more than $100 million to improve all these opportunities, such as support of healthcare and support for marginalized groups. And we are engaged in establishing inclusive practices at the local level. We support young scientists that affect government policies in economic and social areas. During the recent years, we have supported some research that provides great food for thought for the strategies of mankind development as the basis for economic development. I'm happy to see the speakers, two of our partners, Kasamkhan Kaparov, who is the founder of Economist KZ, which is the online platform for discussions, for economic discussions, and also chairman of the Public Council under the Ministry of Education. I wish us all productive work and interesting discussions at the festival. Thank you very much, Aida. And we thank our partners, and now we are finalizing our official part, and we are moving to the discussions. And the first discussion will be the very important one, because it's a very important issue, whether we will turn back from globalization and what developing markets, emerging markets are expecting. during the pandemic and after the pandemic, what will happen to our economies. After that, we will get to discuss how the technological revolution transforms the growth, economic growth, and how it affects inequality. Next discussion will be how increasing digitalization will affect the labor market and the jobs of the future. Shall we have the symbiosis of mankind and machine? What is in our genes? What DNA can tell us? How the artificial intelligence will transform the world. This will all be discussed together with international scientists, experts, and Nobel laureates. I wish you productive discussions. Please participate actively, get online, ask questions in the chat. Let's go.